Welcome back. Now, just so that I remember after my brief little talk, we're gonna, uh, I'm gonna turn the group on, and I would just like to give Doug a chance to talk to us and hear about his experience, his momentous experience over the weekend. And it'll just be Doug, but I feel it's important that everybody get a chance to talk. So I'm reminding myself now, after I get done talking, to turn off the recording because our group conversations, of course, are private. Anyway, the topic this week is facing our biggest fear. And if you are perfectly fear-free, then this will be a light little jaunty journey down memory lane for back when you used to have fear. And if you do have fear, then it may be just the topic we need. And as an unbelievably quick reminder, the five great afflictions that the yogis identified thousands of years ago, the five kleshas, the five great afflictions, it begins with, well, we forget who we are, our spiritual nature. That's one, that's the primary affliction. Number two is, since we don't remember who we are, we come up with a false sense of self. We might call that ego. In yoga, it's called, let's see, the big affliction's called avidya, and the false sense of self is called, forgot. Anyway, who cares? Anyway, it's our false sense of self. Ego will do just fine, damn it. The third and the fourth afflictions happen when we have a small, artificial, forgetful sense of self. We reach and grab for what we want in the world, and then we try to push away what we don't like. There's a lot of pushing and pulling. There's a lot of struggling. There's a lot of self-will. There's a lot of stepping on the toes of others while they stomp on ours. And yogis identified this thousands of years ago. They called the push and the pull of life, devesa and raga and devesa, the push and pull. And these first four afflictions lead to the great finishing affliction, which is fear. When we live in fear, when we're always struggling, when other people are trying to get what we want, when we're trying to get what other people want, when we have a false sense of self, bad thinking, stinking thinking, then the biggest affliction of all is fear, and the great fear is called abhinavesa. And of course, the greatest fear of all is fear of death, or fear of self-elimination or self-extinction. So there they are, all laid out, checking my time. So this great fear that we may or may not have in our lives. Do you have a great fear? Is it public speaking? Is it singing in public? Is it a conversation that you need to have with somebody? Is it a fear of financial insecurity? Is it a fear of disease? Is it a phobia? And so this week, we're just going to, each one of us in the sanctuary of our own head and heart, think what our greatest fear might be. And if we were to face it with courage and character and diligence, if we were simply to take action on it, the greatest transformation would be available to us. The greatest fear is always the greatest expansion. It's the boundary that we're not willing to cross. This week, that's up for me, and I'll talk more about it tomorrow. I don't want to belabor the fear or to pay too much attention to myself in this group. But if you have a great fear, and are we willing to face it? Are we willing to look into it and to recognize great fear is really great love that our own individual nervous system is translating or transmuting into, or filtering into, fear. And if we were to face our fear, not think about it, the differential between thinking about facing your greatest fear and actually taking action on it is the greatest possible gap. And this week we'll look at closing that gap. And I'll give you the specifics on that tomorrow. Now, this does not mean a stupid facing. I'm going to jump in a shark tank while juggling with knives. I mean, not stupid fear, but I'm talking about the fear that we know is irrational and cuts us off from the fullness of who we could be if we would simply go into it. Anyway, that's our topic this week. I hope you find it stimulating and provocative, fearful, and loving at the same time. And thanks, YouTubers, for listening. Please like and subscribe. We're spreading like crazy. I'll see you guys later. And now I'm going to turn the camera off and go to gallery view. If I can figure out how to end the recording.